This is K2S JP. Standing by to report the flowers.
K2SJP, WB5DRI. Good morning, Bob. You're S9 in San Antonio.
Okay, good morning to you, Brian. You are 20 old.
Wow, thanks for the flowers there, Bob.
Good morning, Bob. K2SJP, WA6LJS. You're good 5-8 in San Diego this morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, John, out there in the mall. And you're also about 5-8 here. A little noise in the background, but perfectly tolerable.
Roger, roger. We'll be standing by WA6LJS.
Good morning, all. W5OG and Brian. I've got Don K0ZNC. I'll be glad to bring him in. It looks like Bob's not in here yet, but either way, I can simulcast him in. That's K0ZNC. W5OG, stand by for the net.
Okay, Dale, W5OG, WB5DRI. I appreciate that. And it's good to hear everybody this morning, and I think we're going to have fun this morning.
N5BE, Lee, are you hearing me on the SDR, W5OG?
W5OG N5B, 10 over, Dale. Very nice.
Yeah, I can hear you actually locally, and also Brian. It must be backscatter pretty good today. I told the net and Bob yesterday that I couldn't do the net next Thursday. I did not remember that W2WLD was not doing Wednesdays till he gets his rig fixed. I'd be glad to do it on Wednesday. Had you already signed up for that one? That's this coming Wednesday, Lee?
Well, I've done it the last 2 Wednesdays, and I was standing by. I didn't want to hog it. But, yeah, Charlie's going to take your net, Dale. I don't know if you saw that on the AIM window the other day. Charlie's going to take your net. So if you wanted to move the Wednesday to take Bill's, that would work out great for this week, or next week, I mean.
Yeah, okay, well, I'd be glad to do that. No worries. I'll take Wednesday for Bill, and then somebody else, I guess, can pick it up next Wednesday. But I'll be back in the regular schedule for Thursdays after this. W5OG. So thank you, Lee.
Yeah, no problem, Dale. We're always here to help out each other.
W5OG, K2S. Glad you got that squared away yet, Dale.
Yeah. It's not rocket science, but we work it out there. Bob, good morning.
KT9RT, WB5DRI. Kilo Tango 9, Romeo Tango. This is Whiskey Bravo 5, Delta Romeo India. Copy. Okay, well, I'm sorry you don't have a very good copy on me, but that's propagation for you. But good to hear you this morning, and 73 to see you. I got you on the roster for having checked in. 73s. Well, this is WB5DRI, and I will be starting up the Air Force's Flyers Club net at the top of the hour on this frequency. This is WB5DRI. I will be net control this morning for the Air Force's Flyers Club net. We'll be starting up in about 4 minutes on this frequency. What was your call sign? Is it Kilo Foxtrot 6 Zulu Ocean Lima? Okay, well, we got you on the list. Can I get your name and location? Oh, okay, very fine, Mike. Well, good to hear you there from close to Santa Barbara. You're going to be able to stick around for our net? My name is Brian, and I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Okay, real fine, Mike. Well, 73s to you, and thanks for checking in with our net here before we get started this morning. Very good to hear you, and you've got a good signal with me here. I'm hearing you best on the SDRs this morning, but also a little bit on the radio. QSL, Mike. Well, 73s, you have a wonderful Labor Day weekend there, too. Stay on the cool side of the door if you can. This is WB5DRI. I will be starting up the Air Force's Flyers Club net on this frequency at the top of the hour, about 2 minutes. K4YDB, WB5DRI. Good morning, Justin. I got you on the list here. I'm hearing you on the radio pretty well.
Cool. Well, it's about time to start. Put me down for short time. I'm up here working on the snowmobile training. Enjoying nature. So I'll get out of the way and let you get the net going. And yeah, just put me down.
Okay, Justin, real fine. I'll put you down as a short timer here. We'll put you up at the top right after dawn there this morning. Very good to hear you. This is WB5DRI. We'll be starting the Air Force Flyers Club net at this time. I want to welcome everybody to the net, the Saturday edition. This net meets on this frequency, 14.290, every day of the year, normally starting up about this time, about 1000 Central Time. And the Flyers Club consists of a lot of military aviation members, both active and retired, and veterans of all the military services, to include pilots, air crew, ground crew, air traffic controllers, missile crews, support crews, and anyone involved with military aviation from all of the air branches of all of our military services. We also like to welcome visitors to the net, and you don't need to be involved with the military or aviation in order to check in. Our purpose is to promote fellowship between those radio amateurs who devote a portion of their lives to support our air forces. This is a control net. We like to use the words contact, relay, check-in, or info to contact net control. We also have a very good website at www.airforces, plural, flyers, plural, club.org. I repeat, that's airforcesflyersclub.org, which has a lot of good information about our net and bios from our members, and it's a very nice website there, and also an application if you would like to join the group, but that's not necessary in order to check in. Again, my call sign is Whiskey Bravo 5 Delta Romeo India, and my name is Brian, and I'm located down here in San Antonio, Texas, in South Central Texas in the Alamo City. Our format for this net is we take check-ins and we go down the list allowing each station to give their reports, and then we go back for a second 73 round if there's time. Usually on Saturdays we have a lot more time, but many times, many check-ins. We'll see what happens this morning. It's going to be fun, though, I think. We have some fun questions this morning, courtesy of Lee Bagan in 5BE. Let's see. Let me go down the list as I have it right now. Before I do that, let me go ahead and get a call out from the West Coast. John, WA6LJS, could you put out a call for us, please?
Wilco, this is WA6LJS relaying for net control for the Saturday morning Air Force Flyers net. We're looking for check-ins, either members or visitors. Call now. All's quiet on the West Coast. Back to you, Brian.
Okay, John, thank you. Let's see. Let's get a call out from the East Coast. Let's get Bob, K2SJP. Could you put out a call for us, please, this morning?
Wilco, Brian. This is K2SJP relay for net control. Calling any members or guests for the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Please call now. All quiet, Brian.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. The list as I have it is as follows. I have K0ZNC, Don, up in Longmont, Colorado, and he's going to be brought in, I think, by my brother, Dale, W5OG, this morning. Then we have got Justin as the short timer, KB7LAK, and please let me know if anybody else needs to be a short timer. Then we have our net logger, N5BE, Lee. Then we have John, W7AJN. Then we have W5ABI, Joe. Let's see. I hope I'm not messing this up here. I'm looking at my list on paper along with what's on NetLogger here. Let's see. I missed Let's see, W7AJN is right after N5BE. That's John out in Peoria there. So good morning to all you guys. Let's see, then I have, as I said, John WA6LJS in Habul, and then Joe W5ABI in out in Las Cruces. And then I have Carl, KF7GJO, out in Sparks, Nevada. Good morning to you, Sparky. Then I have my old brother Dale, W5OG. And also want to recognize a station that checked in, KD0VNQ from Colorado Springs. Gary, he's not in there anymore, but he was in and out. Then I have, let's see, after W6WAY, Jim out in Corona. Good morning to you, Jim. And then I have Jack before Bob. So KM4CAX should be next after Jim there. And then K2SJP, Bob. I think I talked to them in that order, and then they had already come into NetLogger, so they were kind of reversed in NetLogger. It works out that way sometimes. Depends on how fast your computer hits the program, I think, there. But good morning to you guys. Then I have K4YDB, Charlie, who is our YouTube live stream guy. You can check out his live stream of the net on YouTube if you just type in K4YDB, and it will come up for you. He has a great live stream there every day of our net. Then I have N0RMC, that's Ron in Missouri. Good morning to you also, Ron. Then I have actually, there was a station that checked in, and I want to recognize he was in and out, KT9RT, and he couldn't stick around. I guess the propagation was not that great for him this morning, but it was good to have him on the roster this morning. Then I have Mike, KQ6E, and Anthem. Good morning to you, Mike.
Progress, thank you.
And then I have KS5KY. Which is Chris. Good to have you in there with us this morning, Chris, in Bowling Green. Let's see. Then I have Mike, another Mike, KF0OPE up in Nebraska. Good to have you with us, Mike. Then I have KD0, looks like WKB, Craig in Missouri. Good to have you with us, Craig. And we'll get down to you shortly there. Then I have W5PIX, Cliff, my neighbor to the north here. And I'm not sure if he's mobile this morning or if he's at home. But got you on the list there. Good morning to you guys. At this time, let me go ahead and give the question this morning. We do have pretty good question. A couple of great questions, really, that came from, as I said, Lee Begg and N5BE. So we'll get to those in just a second here. Let's see. I got to write down this other call sign. Okay, break. Let me get the question. Okay, this question is one that I really like, and I think it's kind of interesting. One of our members who is a silent key from last year was a very prominent member of our group here. Would have loved it as well. K5LRS, Rich. He and I both had the kind of neat thing of having both been in Laos in the late 60s. We were in country in Laos. Rich was, I think, an air traffic controller type working there, and I was just visiting my parents in Vientiane for about 3 weeks in August of 1968. But anyway, this question I think will be of interest to quite a few folks on the net. The question has to do with the Raven FAC program. The Raven Forward Air Controller program was a U.S. government-sponsored, unacknowledged civilian pilot organization in Laos during the Vietnam War. They were legends in forward air control flying, and they mostly flew the O-1 Bird Dog aircraft. Pilots were recruited, assumed fictitious civilian identity, and performed missions at the direction of the U.S. Embassy in country in Laos. And the first question is, can you name the recruitment program code name? And the possible answers are Alpha, Westy, Bravo, Steve Canyon, Charlie, Buck Rogers, Delta, Barnstormer. So the possible answers for the code name of this program were Westy, Steve Canyon, Buck Rogers, Barnstormer. So which one was the program code name is the question. The second question is, the bonus question from Lee is, where were the pilots recruited from? And possible answers were Alpha, Soldier of Fortune magazine, Bravo, Forward Air Controller pilots newly arrived in the Republic of Vietnam, Charlie, unmarried Tactical Air Command pilots 03 and below, and Delta, Tactical Air Command Squadron Commander recommendations. So the possible answers for where the pilots were recruited from were Soldier of Fortune magazine, FAC pilots newly arrived in RVN, unmarried TAC pilots 03 and below, and TAC Squadron Commander recommendations. So anyway, those are the questions. Does anybody need any repeats on the questions there? Over. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's see, Dale, could you please bring in Don there? K4YDB, good morning. WB5DRI, how you doing up in Longmont this morning?
Yeah, will do, Brian. K4YDB, go ahead, Don, you're up for the net. W5OG.
Appreciate you getting me on HF. Both of you there. This is Don, K4YDB in Longmont, Colorado. Got a nice day morning today. It's warmed up a bit from what it was the last couple of days. The high is going to be 91, and I think it's currently about 70 degrees, 69, something like that. But anyway, it's going to be a little warmer today from what it was yesterday and the day before. Oh, gosh, I have no idea on the question, so these are just pure flags on my part. On the first one, put me down for Charlie. And on the second question, put me down for Delta. Delta on the second question. Should, if things work out right, be here for the 73 round, so give me a shout. Usually on Saturdays things work out that way, so we'll see how it goes. Give me a shout. If I don't come back, I'll just dub in my 73s if you would, Brian. Anyway, with that, we'll turn it back to you, Brian, WB5DRI, W5OG, K4YDB.
W5OG, back to net.
Okay, Don, very fine. K4YDB, WB5DRI. Well, good to hear you this morning, Don. It sounds like it's not sounds like the weather's not too bad up there this morning. So very good. I think you guys you're at a little bit higher elevation there, so I think you probably have some cooler temperatures than we have down here a lot of the times. But good to hear you this morning, and got your answers there as Charlie and Delta there. That would be Buck Rogers and unmarried TAC pilots 03 and below. So very good. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's see, no. Delta was, I said that wrong. You said Charlie and Delta. Delta was TAC Squadron Commander recommendation. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on here. Next up is our short timer there, KB7LAK. Justin, good morning. Good to hear you there this morning. WB5DRI. Okay, Justin, very fine. Well, you have a good signal with me this morning. You're about 5 and 5 here in San Antonio. Good to hear you from Hot Springs, Idaho there. And I got you down for Charlie, Buck Rogers, and unmarried TAC pilots 03 and below. So very good. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to our net logger, N5BE. Lee up in Arlington, and thanks again for the questions, Lee. I know they came from the book The Ravens that I read many years ago. Well, not that many, about five or 6 years ago, I think now. But it's a very good book by Christopher Robbins. If any of you guys have a mind to read it, it's worth reading about. It will tell you all about the Raven program here. N5BE, Lee, you're up, and thanks for the help with NetLogger there, Lee. WB5DRI.
And WB5DRI N5BE. Good morning, Brian, and good morning to everyone on the net. I'm sorry Bob's not here for this question. I could just hear his reaction. When I was doing the research for this question, and Brian and I both have read this book, and I highly recommend it. It's been out of print, but you can get it on Amazon, and it's not that expensive. And it is a page turner. Wow, what a story! And I've got a semi-personal connection to this. We have a neighbor up the street whose husband was a captain, Army Special Forces in Laos, and he worked closely with the Ravens, and he was assassinated by a turncoat Laotian colonel only because the Laotian colonel wanted his Swedish Swedish K gun, that Swedish 9mm submachine gun, shot him in the back. They found the gun in the hooch of the colonel later that evening and immediately executed him on the spot. So, wow. And this guy's name is in the book. So, great book. So, during the investigation into the background on how to construct this question, I uncovered something, and I did not know this. And Brian, I don't know if you knew this or not, but there was an enlisted component to Raven before Raven. It was called Butterfly, and they had done, essentially, it was the model program for Ravens, but they took these combat controllers and put them in Air America aircraft to do I'll call semi-unofficial yet official forward air control. And some general found out about it, got PO'd, and said, no, we're only going to do pilots and that. And anyway, the rest is history. So I did not know that. Butterflies, how about that? All right, Brian, back to you. And good job on the net. I'm enjoying this today. WB5DRI N5BE.
Okay, Lee, very good. N5BE, WB5DRI. Lee, you're coming in on my radio this morning, so we got a little bit of a short skip. It's great. You're about 5'4", close to a 5'5". You're got about a 5'4", solid 5'4". So very good. Good to hear you. And again, thanks for all your help on the questions and on NetLogger this morning. And thanks for the information about butterfly there. I wasn't aware of that. That's very interesting. Interesting information. I didn't know about that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go out to Peoria, Arizona, to John, W7AJ, and hope all is well with you and yours this morning, John. W7AJ and WB5DRI. You're up, John.
WB5DRI, W7AJN. Good morning, Brian, and good morning to all the flyers out there on the net. It is a beautiful day here in Peoria, Arizona, where we have 90 degrees currently, going up to 106. So good day for reading. Brian, please give me the name of that book again. I did not write it down, but it sounds so interesting I want to read it. Anyway, I'm going to, the girls are doing fine. Thanks for asking, Brian. And the bathroom remodel is in the middle of all the demolition has been done and cleaned up, and now we're waiting for the weekend. And we won't work for this weekend, so they'll be back probably on Tuesday to finish up on the new shower and all that stuff. So we're looking forward to that, but we're in the mess right now. Okay, on the question, Brian, I'm going to go with Charlie. Forecast is not going to Charlie out, but I think the answers are correct. So that's what I'm going to stick with. And if you, again, would give me the name of that book, I want to read it. Okay? I've been reading some of the other books that we have talked about, and I want to get that one. So if you'll give me that book, I'll appreciate it. So I'll be here till the bottom, Brian. So WB5DRI, W7AJN.
Okay, John, very good. W7AJN, WB5DRI. Well, you're about a 5'5" with me this morning, John. Good signal there from Peoria. And real fine on the renovations. I hope all that goes well. I know you'll be happy to get all that wrapped up there. And I got your answers. It's Charlie. And the name of the book is The Ravens. And it's by Christopher Robbins. And I actually have a copy of it on Kindle. You can get it there as well. But I'm sure you can, if you go into Amazon, you could probably get a paperback copy of it if you would like. But it's out there, like Lee was saying there. So anyway, very good, John. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's go down to out to Humboldt, California, to one of our net controllers out there. Good morning again to you, John. WA6LJS, WB5DRI.
Okay, Brian. Yeah, there's a short timer ahead of me. Why don't you pick up Craig there, KD0WKB, and then then you can come back to me. Over.
Oh, Roger. I'm sorry. Thanks for that. Yeah, I saw that on the NetLogger, and I completely I meant to do that, but I skipped doing it. Let me pick up. I'll come back to you, John. Let me pick up Craig there in Missouri. KD0 Whiskey Kilo Bravo, Good morning, Craig. I hope you're still in there with us. WB5DRI, what's happening out in Missouri this morning? Okay, real fine, Craig. Well, good to hear you this morning. Thanks for joining us this morning as a visitor, and come back and join us anytime. We're on here every day, starting up at 10:00 Central Time. And got your answers there as Bravo and Charlie. Bravo is actually the Steve Canyon answer, and my voice is cracking here. Sorry about that. And very fine on your nephew. Being in Air Force helicopter pilot training. We have some prior Air Force helicopter pilots on here. In fact, one of them is my older brother Dale, W5OG here. So very good on all that. And by the way, Craig, you're about a 5'8" with me here in San Antonio this morning. A beautiful signal from Missouri there. And I want to give a shout out to your friend there, Ron McCall there. Very nice to have him out there listening this morning. So 73s, and have a great Labor Day weekend there, Craig, and thanks again for joining us there. Let's go back to John out in Hamul. John, WA6LJS, you're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Okay, thank you, Brian. WB5DRI, WA6LJS. Good morning to the net. Good conditions today. I'm so far heard everybody on local. They're coming in SDRs good also, but I don't need the SDRs so far. And it's a nice day out here in Southern California. We've got blue skies, and I see a little bit of a marine front looking down the canyon there toward the ocean, but nothing up here. It's bright and sunny. And it's so far it's about 65, 66 degrees, and it's going to warm up pretty quick. Good net this morning. Good question. The first question, I was going to choose something else, but Craig seems to have some experience there, know what it is there, so I'm going to copy him. I'm going to say the code name was B Bravo Steve Canyon. And for the bonus question, I'm going to go with D Delta, the Tactical Air Command commander's recommendation. It doesn't seem logical that they go to Soldier of the Fortune magazine to get recruitments and some of those other things. So that seems the most logical. So put me down for Bravo and Delta. And I'll be here to the bottom. Back to you, Brian. Thanks for running things. WB5DRI, WA6LJS.
Check in.
Okay, real fine, John. Well, we got your answers there as Bravo and Delta. And I think I heard a check-in. Go ahead, check-in.
W4PUO, good morning, Brian, and thank you, John. I'll use the same answers, Bravo and Delta.
Okay, real fine, Lee. Are you going to be able to stick around, Lee?
Roger.
Okay, I'll put you on the list here. W4PUO. Good to hear you this morning, Lee. I'm hearing you well on the SDRs there. We got your answers as Bravo and Delta, so very good. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's break with you, and we'll go out to Las Cruces, I believe, to Joe out there, W5ABI. Good morning again, Joe, WB5DRI.
Yeah, WB5DOI on the flyer, W5ABI. Good signals all the way around, Brian. I only had to use the SDR for W7AJM, which I always have to. Anyhow, beautiful morning here in Las Cruces, sunny, no wind, not a cloud in the sky today. 72 is supposed to go up to 89, so we're cooling down. I think fall is finally here. Hopefully, we've had a real hot summer here. Minimum amount of rain. We're starting to get the monsoon, which we don't normally get. I haven't seen it in 6 or 7 years, but we're getting the monsoons here, so a little bit of rain in the afternoon. Anyhow, wow. I'm not sure about this at all. I'm going to go with Charlie and Delta. Charlie and Delta is my answer. We'll be here to the bottom. Thanks for running the net. WB5DRI, W5ABI.
Okay, Joe, very good. W5ABI, WB5DRI. Well, you're still 5'9" plus with me this morning, Joe. We're just banging into San Antonio here, so very good to hear you. And I got your answers there as Charlie and Delta. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's see what Sparky's take on all this is. KF7 GJO, Carl, you're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Roger that, Brian. Good morning, everybody. KF7GJO here. Hope everybody survived martini night last night without too severe hangover. Oh, guys, that goes all the way back to when Boyce was still active on the radio long before he became the silent chief. One thing, yesterday's question and the staggerwing Beechcraft came up several times. Interesting story on that airplane. Doc Higgins, local airman medical examiner in the Oxnard area, and used to give us our annual FAA flight physicals for air traffic control. At the end of World War II, he bought a brand spanking new BE-17 Beech Staggerwing off the docks in San Pedro that was about to be shipped overseas somewhere. The war ended, and it was declared surplus, and if memory serves me correct, Doc Higgins said he bought that airplane for $500. Now, you talk about a sound investment. If he's still, well, it'd be over 100 years old if it's still alive, but that airplane would be there. You don't have enough fingers and toes to add the zeros onto that price tag. Anyway, yeah, it was a beautiful, phenomenal airplane to fly, but very, very narrow main gear. I mean, every landing was almost a guaranteed ground loop. You really had to be on your toes with that airplane. So I just thought I'd pass that in there because it was a nice airplane to fly. I flew it with it several times. Okay, today's question, and when I saw that, the first thing out of my mind was, did we get that question out of the book CIA Super Pilot Bills to Beam by Captain Bill Collier, who was a Marine Corps helicopter pilot, and then after his commitment in the Marine Corps ran out, he went to work for the CIA not CIA, his Air America, which really was CIA, and flew helicopters in Cambodia and Laos for several years. Anyway, that was an excellent book, and without delving into it to see if I can find the answer, I'm going to go for the first part with, let me pull up the question here real quick. With answer B for the first part of the question, Steve Kenyon, I believe, was the name. And for the bonus question, I'm going with Steve Charles. Unmarried pilot 03 and below, I believe was the correct
obviously, I wouldn't go along with Soldier and Fortune magazine. So I'm going to go with B for unmarried pack pilots, and for the first part of the question, Beat Bravo, Beat Canyon. Now, those are my choices. I got to be with you to the end, Brian. So back to you, WB5DRI, KF7GJO.
Okay, Carl, KF7 GJO, WB5DRI. Well, good to hear you this morning, Carl. I've got you on the radio here, 55 plus. Good signal this morning into San Antonio. Good to hear you, and very interesting about the Beach Stagger Wing. I can't imagine an aircraft, having to sell an aircraft for $500. I think he must have been in a hurry to go PCS there. But interesting story. But good to hear you this morning, Carl. And I got your answers as Bravo and Charlie. Carl thinks that I might have chosen the answers for this question based on my initials here. Well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, good answers, and let's go ahead and move on. We're down to my older brother. He probably remembers the answers to these questions because we have talked about this, but it's been a few years here. Good morning to you, Dale, and love to you and Carolyn there. Hope everything is going well there in Mineola. W5OG, WB5DRI. You're up, Dale. Thanks for the help this morning with the relay for Don there.
Yeah, no problem, Brian. Good morning again to all on the net. W5OG, Dale, here in East Texas. Yeah, glad to do all that, and good net, good question. Before I get to the question, I wanted to just comment. I was watching the news, the news was on. I was doing other things, but just, and I heard the word Hamul, and so that got my attention. And John, I guess you heard about all the news about your area there. You didn't mention it, but pretty interesting. I guess an illegal migrant that you're very close there, in just east of San Diego to the border. I know that. And I guess there was a problem with one of them trying to commandeer a school bus. So that's all I got of it. I don't know all the details or anything, but it happened to be in the area of Hamul. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I got to see on the program when they were discussing this or telling about it, they had a bit of your area though. So we got to see a little bit of the countryside around Hamul there. Let's see. As far as the question, I was. It is Bravo for the first one. Steve Canyon was the name of the program, I do believe. And initially I thought, well, yeah, the unmarried attack pilots, 03 and below. That sounds. But I think that was a different program. I think the Bravo is a better answer. The forward air control pilots newly arrived in Arvin. I don't know how else they would do that program. It would have to be more complicated than they really wanted it. So I don't know, but I think Bravo. Put me down for BB. Anyway, we'll see how that turns out, Brian. And I think there was something else I wanted to say. But anyway, just good morning to everyone. Good to hear everybody on this Saturday morning. Back to you, Brian. I'll be here to the bottom. WB5DRI, W5OG.
Okay, Dale, real fine. W5OG, WB5DRI. Yeah, very interesting about the news from Hamul there. Thanks for that as well. I hadn't heard that. Just one more reason why we need to have good border security. Anyway, got your answers there, Dale. Bravo. So we'll see how that comes out. Very good to hear you this morning, and thanks for all your help there. Break with you. Let's go out to California again. Let's go out to Jim out there in Corona, W6WAY. Good morning again, Jim. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Okay, WB5
Okay, Jim, very good. You got your answers there. Is Charlie, and good to hear you this morning. And it sounds like you guys are having some fair weather at this point. Hope it doesn't get too hot for you out there where you are in California there. But good to hear you on the radio. And yeah, this is we're in the summer is winding down here, I guess, and we're getting close to fall. And I guess this big weekend, Labor Day weekend, we got a lot going on today. We got the college football starting today, and summer is winding down. That tells me. So anyway, good to hear you this morning, Jim, and I got your answers there. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to Jack out in Soperton, Georgia. And Jack, good to hear you back on the radio, and glad you're feeling better over your sickness there. KM4CAX, good morning again, Jack. WB5DRI.
Good morning, Brian. KM4CAX, Jack in Soperton, Georgia. It's going to be another warm one here. It's 6 now, going up to 92. Sun. Very bright. I'm going to try this sound good this station. Middle of time to get out today, and I'll go get my wallet and credit card for the station one. As to the question, I'm going to follow the brother to Bravo. I don't know anything about it, but deal, I think, anyhow. I'm like Bill Shapiro. I'm going to make it a water gun running in the house, get my wallet, pay for that book, keep for the tape. So I'll send that 73 to everybody. Some of you can come over to the Sunday net going on with my phone. So 73, get that money, and we'll turn it back to you.
Okay, Jack, very good. KM4CAX, WB5DRI. And Jack, I got you down for Bravo there, so very good. And hope you have a great day there in Soperton. And I imagine you're probably wrapping up all your floor renovations there that you and your wife have been working on there. So hope that's going well. And have a great day and a great Labor Day weekend. Maybe we'll talk to you tomorrow on the net here. 73s for now. Let's see. Break with you. Let's go on. Let's go back down to Florida to near Tampa to our station down there. Bob, K2SJP. Good morning again, Bob. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
weather was great for flying yesterday in the morning, but by it didn't even look like it was going to happen. But by
Yeah, K2SJP, WB5DRI. Well, very fine, Bob. You're still solid S9 plus with me this morning. Beautiful signal on your flex radio there from Litz, Florida there, and got your answers as Bravo and Charlie. And sounds like you had some fun yesterday getting up, flying around with the Cessna there. So very good on all that. And sorry you weren't able to get in yesterday into the net. The internet, the Flex is a great radio, but the internet doesn't always support you, unfortunately, with that, I think. But it's a beautiful thing when it does. But very nice to hear you this morning, Bob. Let's go ahead and move on. I hope you have a great day there in Litz. Break with K2SJP. Let's go to Charlie, our station that's doing the live stream on YouTube. Thanks again for that, Charlie. And you're up, sir. K4YDB, WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, K4YDB. Well, good morning, Brian. Morning to all the flyers out there and the visitors. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Right now, it's currently 85 degrees here. Supposed to get back up into the mid-90s again. We got rain in the forecast as well. We got thunderstorms coming through here. Yesterday we had one come through and it sit on us for quite a while, about an hour, and dumped about 2¼ inches of rain on us in just about an hour. Anyway, we do need the rain, but not all at once. I mean, I'd like to spread it out over a few days. That would help a lot. But after all this is said and done, I guess I'll get my fertilizer out and see if I can start putting some fertilizer on it since it's that time of year, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. As far as the question goes, well, put me down for Bravo and Charlie. I think I'll go with Bravo and Charlie. WB5DRI, K4YDB, I'm back to net.
Okay, Charlie. Got you down for Bravo and Charlie there. And thanks again for your help there, Charlie. It sure is good to have you out there. And that's what makes this net, all the things that we have going on and all the people that are supporting it with various things. It really makes it a fun time. Anyway, break with K4YDB. Let's go to Ron up in Missouri. I hope he's still in there with us. N0RMC, Ron in Missouri. You're up, sir. WB5DRI. Is he talking? Is anybody hearing him? I think I need a relay on him if he's transmitting.
Hey, Brian, I just saw he's checked out on the AIM window.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lee. We'll put him as checked out. We'll give him a 73s, and we'll move on here. Also want to recognize KT9RT, who checked in earlier. We'll give him a wave of the hand again at 73s if he might still be out there listening. And let's go out to Arizona again to Mike and Anthem. King Queen 6 Echo. What's happening there in Anthem, Mike, and what are your answers on these questions? WB5 DRI.
WB5 DRI in the group. Nice reception rate. Getting just about everybody nice, strong signals. It's a good day, I guess. It's 89 degrees here in Anthem today. Going to go up to 99. We're going to stay below 100 up here on the hill above Phoenix. So can't complain too much. Got in a round of golf yesterday in the heat, and I'm still dragging this morning after that. It was a long day as far as the heat goes, but it was nice to get out on the golf course and exercise a little bit. So humidity's only about 20% here today, so it's going to be dry, even though it's overcast. Gives me a little throwback to my time over there in Laos. My good friend and former co-worker, Brett Potter, was actually the photo chief in Saigon when I was over there. We used to hang out quite a bit, and we worked with UPI back out of Pittsburgh before the war. But he was one of the four photographers that were killed over Laos in 1971. And the question was regarding Laos.
Yes, the frequency's in use. There's a net in progress.
With Kent and Larry Burrows. They finally recovered their remains, I guess, a few years back. But like I say, the question just brought back some memories. On the question, I'm going to go with Steve Canyon. I was an inveterate cartoon watcher. I loved Steve Canyon back in the day. So I'll go with that one. And I'm going to guess the forward air control guys. I'm thinking that would probably be a logical thing, bringing these new guys and ship them up to Laos. But again, that's just a guess.
Frequency is in use. There's a net in progress.
WA6LJ.
And we have a net in progress.
Okay, real fine, Mike. Well, you were covered up a little bit. There was some QRM that came on there, but good to hear you this morning. And that golf sounds great, and the 20% humidity sounds even better. But I'm glad you were able to get out and play some golf there. I'm sure it got hot before the day was over there, though, if you were out for a full 18 holes. Got your answer there. I got the first answer. I got okay, Mike, but I didn't catch your second answer. You were covered up with QRM. Can you give me your second answer? I got Bravo for the first. Over. Okay, got it. Bravo, Bravo. Very good, Mike. Thank you for that. Let's go ahead and move on. Break with you. Let's go to, let's see who's up next. It looks like it's another, no, it's Chris up in Bowling Green, KS5KY. Good to have you in here with us this morning, Chris. You're up, sir. WB5DRI. Good morning. Okay, real fine, Chris. KS5KY, WB5DRI. Well, good to hear you this morning, and you've got a beautiful signal on my radio this morning, Chris. You're about 5'6", 5'7", maybe stronger than that here, but good to hear you. And I got your answers as Bravo, Bravo. And I want to recognize K6PX, Steve, our tailhook Navy guy. He's out there listening to the net, and I see that he's in the live chat on Charlie's K4YDB's YouTube live stream, so very good. Break, let's go ahead and move on. Next up is actually another Mike up in Nebraska, KF0OPE. How's the flying going up your way there, Mike? Good morning, WB5DRI.
Well, good morning, Brian, and all the flyers and visitors on the net. It's a beautiful day here in Nebraska. Haven't been flying the last couple of days. Sounds like we got some work to do next week, but we got the weekend off. I'm going to go with, for the question, I'm going to go with Bravo and Bravo as well. If Steve Canyon isn't the answer, it should be. And if you were a Steve Canyon fan, or if you remember it, I didn't remember it when I was young, but you can get it on Amazon Prime, the TV show, for free, and it's a kind of a fun, cheesy Air Force show. So I enjoyed watching them. So Bravo, Bravo is my answer, and I'll turn it back to WB5DRI in the net, KF0OPE.
Okay, Mike, very fine. Well, you've got a nice signal with me here in San Antonio this morning. Good to hear you. You're about a 5'6", 5'7", something like that. Good, strong signal. So good to hear you. I got your answer there. Is Bravo, Bravo. And let's go ahead and move on here. Break with you. Let's go to my neighbor, close neighbor to the north of me. He's not very far away at all. I hope I can hear him maybe on the SDRs. W5PIX, Cliff, good morning, and regards to Miss Bonnie there. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, W5PIX Mobile. I'm down here in Arlington, Texas right now in the Rio Grande Valley going to Brownsville. Well, good morning to all the flyers and non-flyers. I guess that have dropped in. I hope everybody's doing well. It is nice and sunny down here. Some clouds moving in. We're supposed to have some rain down this way. But I'm delivering to my last stop down here in Brownsville. And then I'll be headed back up to Falls another 1 or 2 days to go back up to Fort Worth for Monday and then back to San Antonio. So right now, this is driving. And here's just everybody locally down here. So it's good all the homes using SDR. And I will go with I know about Bravo, but I don't know about any of the rest. So, by the way, down here in a real humid. Just as an antenna on the truck, just after on a hard, we're not getting any interference on anything. Thank you, Brian. Thank you again for running the net, everybody. This is W5PIX. WB5DRI.
Okay, real fine, Cliff. Copied all that on the SDRs, W5PIX, WB5DRI. And we got your answers as Bravo, Bravo, and drive safe down there in South Texas. Cliff is way down there in Brownsville, Texas, way down there close to the border there. So very good, Cliff. And we'll talk to you on the 73 round, possibly. Break with you. Let's go to one of our visitors here. I hope he's still in there with us. The station up in Indiana. Let's see. Nope. I'm ahead of myself here. How did I do that? Let's see. Let's go with KD8 UOL, Daniel in Montana. If you're still in there with us, Daniel, you're up for the net, WB5DRI. Okay, I'm not hearing Daniel. He may have checked out. Let me try this station in Indiana, KE8 Alpha Charlie Mike, Kilo Echo 8, I'm sorry, Kilo Echo 9 Alpha Charlie Mike, and looks like he might have checked out our net logger too. I'm not sure. Let me try him anyway. KE9 ACM, Ed up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. If you're still in there, Ed, you're up for the Flyers, WB5DRI.
Contact KD4MEZ.
Stand by, the KD4MEZ. I heard Ed in Indiana, KE9 ACM. Are you copying me, WB5DRI?
Yes, can you call it, KD4MEZ, give me your call again?
Well, somebody's tuning up on top of us here, but yeah, this is the Air Force's Flyers Club net that you've landed on here. And my name is Brian, and I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and the call sign is WB5DRI. Back to you there, Ed.
Copy, Brian. Well, where are you located?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Did you copy that, Ed? I'm in San Antonio, over.
No, I didn't copy. Over.
Well, I'm hearing you on the radio lightly and also on the SCRs, Ed, so good to have you with us this morning. Anything else for our net? Did you see the questions this morning or hear them?
No, I didn't. I just tuned in.
Okay, well, real fine. If you have YouTube, you can bring up our live stream of the net and see the questions there. If you type in K4YDB on YouTube, you can get his live stream, and you can follow along on the questions there. But good to have you with us this morning, Ed, from Indiana. And I'll give you a call on the 73 round. Break with you. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's see. Next up is Lee over in Belleville, Texas. W4PUO. You're up, Lee. Good morning again. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, W4PUO. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, conditions are pretty good. I am hearing most of the stations this morning. I got here a little late. I'm sorry. I had to run an errand for the XYL. They were a couple of blocks away at an estate sale, and I just had to bring home a piece of furniture I wasn't expecting to own. But anyhow, we got all that done and got back in time to check in late. So listened to most of the stations after that time, and it's all pretty good. I didn't really understand the question. I was just hitchhiking on John out there in Hamul, who said Bravo and Delta, so I'll stick with that. And we're having a little rain showers off and on. Had to wrap the furniture up in some tarp and rope in order to get her home and dry. So looks like I got to figure out where to put something. That's the story. Thanks for doing the net today, Brian, and we'll be here for the 73s. WB5DRI, W4PUO.
Okay, Lee, very good. W4PUO, WB5DRI. Well, I'm hearing you well this morning on the radio, in fact, Lee, so we've got a good pass this morning. We've got some short skip going on, so it's very interesting conditions. So good to hear you this morning, and we'll give you a call on the 73 round. Break with you. Let's go to a station out in Montana. Dan, K0 Delta Lima Whiskey, K0 DLW. Dan, you're up for our net, WB5DRI. Well, I'm not hearing Dan. Is anybody hearing Dan? Well, he may have checked out or moved on there, so let's go ahead and move on. There is a station in Canada. Let me try our Ottawa station this morning. VA3 Oscar Charlie David in Ottawa. You're up for our net, sir. Good morning. WB5DRI. Okay, well, he may have checked out also. I think we get a lot of folks that monitor our net, so that's good, and if they want to check in, they're welcome to do that, but we'll give him away with a hand, and a 73s to you, David, up in Ottawa, and thanks for riding along and listening to our net this morning. Break with you. Let's go out to another visitor here in Tennessee. Kilo November 4, Charlie Tango Golf, Andrew. Good morning. You're up for our net, WB5DRI. He's not there, so we'll give him a 73, and let's go ahead and move on. I'm not sure if Steve can get in there with us this morning or not. Let me stand by for him, and John, let me know if WA6LJS, let me know if Steve is able to transmit there. K6PX, you're up if you're able to get in there this morning. WB5DRI, good morning.
I don't hear him on the repeater either, Brian.
Okay, John, thank you. Well, good to have you out there riding along with us, listening to the net there this morning, Steve. And 73s to you. Let's go ahead and move on. Next up is one of our members in Central Texas there, Belton, Texas. Finally down to you, James KG5PTE. Good morning, WB5DRI.
Brian, good morning. WB5DRI in the group. James here, KG5PT. Just got back from a doctor's appointment. I'm having some redness in this left eye of mine. I'm getting it checked out, and I've got maybe some sort of a cyst on my right elbow. They want to do an ultrasound on that, and they're going to send me to an optometrist to get this eye looked at. This infection started earlier this week, and it's not going away. So I've got two health concerns right now, but luckily they had some doctor's appointments available on a Saturday. So I got to go to Baylor Scott and White Clinic here and get that looked at, got the ball rolling on that. What else? Just got the AFT 991A back from the shop, from the ASU the other day, and it seems to be doing the job, being okay. So you're sounding pretty good, Brian. I'm picking you up on it too. So Other than that, only comment that I want to make is on a Saturday like this, when you got all these people show up on NetLogger, if they don't key that microphone and they don't PTT, you don't log them in. That's just my take on it. You don't hear them. If they don't want to check in, I don't log them. That's the way our Texas statewide DMR net runs. If you don't key the microphone, you don't get checked in NetLogger. Just a word of advice. I'm not telling you how to run the net, but that's the way I would roll with that. And one final comment on NetLogger, you only want one person running it, nobody else. One operator, that's it. Not two people, not three people, not four. And I'm only going to say that one time and leave it as that. Back to net, KG5PT.
Okay, James, KG5PT, WB5DRI. Well, your 991 sounding good there, James. You're making the SDRs just fine this morning, so good to hear you. And let's see. Glad you're having a good day there, and hope it sounds like your appointments went pretty well for you there. And I've got some coming up myself, mostly in October. I haven't been able to get appointments here close to September, so I'm going to have to wait for some of them, but that's okay. But good to hear you. And let's see, let's go ahead and move on. Let me go to the next station that I see. I want to recognize Kilo Delta 4, Mike Echo Zulu. And if he's still in there, let me know, and I'll bring you in there. WB5DRI. KD4MEZ, is that you, WB5DRI? Oh, that must not have been him. Let me go ahead and move on. There's a station on NetLogger from Indiana, another Indiana station, Bob, NG9Y. I wonder where you're located in Indiana, Bob. You're up, sir. WB5DRI. Okay, Bob. Well, very good. Good to hear you from Indiana there this morning. And Roger on being 95 there. Congratulations on that. I hope all of us can still be around when we're 95. So we'll see what happens. But good to hear you this morning. And 73s, have a great Labor Day weekend there up in Indiana. I hope it's not too hot for you up there. But good to have you with us this morning. Break, that is the bottom of the list as I have it. Did I miss any stations, or do we have any additional stations that we're trying to get in that we haven't been able to get in up to this point? This is WB5DRI. Please call now. Big signal there, November 6th, Tango Charlie Oscar. Can you give us your name and location, over? Okay, Gerald, very, very good there in Arkansas, N6TCO. Well, good morning to you, sir, and thanks for checking in with us. You've landed on the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Very good to have you out there with us this morning, riding along. Anything else for our net there?
No, not a thing. Just listening to you guys. Listen to us during the week, Flyers of the Atlantic, or excuse me, the Alaska Pacific net. But first time I found you up here on Saturday. So, good morning, everybody.
Yes, sir. Simplify to you as well, sir. And good to have you with us there. My youngest son is actually a retired Marine officer. So I have warm place in my heart for the Marines as well as the Air Force, which is my service of choice. But the Air Force wasn't military enough for my son. he wanted to go with the true military out there that we have in the U.S. for sure. Anyway, good to hear you this morning, Gerald. Thanks for checking in with us, and do come back and join us anytime. We're on here every day, starting up at 10 o'clock Central Time. Break that is the bottom of the list. Well, time is moving along here. Let's go ahead and go back for a quick 73 round, and I'll have let Lee give the answer, and then we'll start with the 73 round. We'll go back to K0ZNC and try to get as many stations in on the 73 round as we can. N5BE, Lee, go ahead and talk about the Ravens some more. WB5DRI.
Yeah, WB5, DRI, N5BE. Boy, Brian, all of a sudden you came up 10 over direct. So what's going on? All right. Yeah, I got this question from the book, The Ravens, and like Brian said, it's an outstanding story of that period in our history, and the amorphous situation between the CIA, Air America, Continental Air Services, and the U.S. Air Force. It was all jumbled together. So, yeah, the name of the program, a code name was Steve Canyon, and it was a cover that they used to brief newly arrived FAC pilots in Vietnam. So, so the answer to the question was Bravo, Bravo. The newly arrived FAC pilots were briefed on a secret program that they could volunteer for without knowing what it was. How about that? And what they tried to do is get pilots who would notionally sign up for this program without knowing what it was, get their feet wet in country in Vietnam in the FAC business, and then bring them into the program. They were still administratively handled by the USAF, but they went over to essentially working for the U.S. Embassy in Vientiane, and they were given fake civilian ID, driver's licenses, I mean, all of it, and essentially lived off the economy in Laos and flew missions not at the direction of the U.S. Air Force, but at the direction of the ambassador. That's an interesting concept. The Air Force tried to take this thing over. The U.S. ambassador went out in the end. Of course, eventually it grew much bigger than that, and especially towards the late 60s and early 70s. So that's the backstory on it. Thanks for letting me provide the answers, or the questions and the answers. And Brian, thank you. Great net today. Enjoyed it. So I'll say 73, and back to net control. N5BE.
Okay, Lee, N5BE, WB5DRI. Well, thank you very much for all that, Lee, and thanks for the questions this morning. Great questions, great information there, and it's a great book. It really is a good book. If you haven't read it, you should read it. It's great, guys. Anyway, it's The Ravens by Christopher Robbins. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to a quick 73 round here. Let's go to Don up in Longmont. Dale, can you bring him in, please? K0ZNC. You're up, Don, for a 73 round, WB5DRI.
Okay, Don, go ahead. K0ZNC, you're up for the 73 round, W5OG.
Hey, Dale. K0ZNC, Don. in Longmont, Colorado here. Good answer, Brian. Good job. Good question from Lee there. And my thanks to everyone for getting me on the HS side of the net here this morning. 73 is all. We'll see you all on Monday. Got church tomorrow. Everybody have a good, safe weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, so enjoy it, but be safe. Easy Rosetta, say back to net.
W5OG, back to net.
Okay, Don, very good. Have a great weekend there, Don, in Longmont, and we'll talk to you on Monday there. Good to have you out there with us this morning. 73 is to you, sir, and thanks, Dale, for bringing Don in. And break, let's go to Justin again up in Hot Springs. If you're still in there with us, Justin, KB7LAK, WB5DRI. Okay, Justin. I think you turned it. 73 is Justin, and let's go back to Arizona to John, W7AJN. John, you're up for the 73 round, WB5DRI.
Really great net stuff this morning, Brian. Really good job. And had quite a few. 29 I see on the computer. You say 29 people checked in. We came in didn't necessarily stop there. But anyway, W5DRI, W7AJN.
Okay, John, 73 is to you. You have a good day out there in Peoria. We'll look for you the next time. Break with W7AJN. Let's go back to John in Hamul, WA6LJS. Tell us about that school bus there, John, WB5DRI.
Yeah, WB5DRI, WA6LJS. Well, thanks for Dale mentioning it. I just found out about it myself. I did some research on it while you guys were talking. That shows you how up-to-date I am here, boy. Well, we're kind of isolated here. There's only one way in and out of this community, where we're at. It was called Skyline Ranch. And but I know where that was. I looked it up, and it was the Hamul-Delzura School District, and that's just like about 5 miles away from me. And the problem was, as far as I can find looking it up, it happened 2 days ago. First, I think a couple migrants tried to board to stop the bus, and then it went further, and then the 20 of them tried to stop it. So, and I think what happened, the reason I didn't hear about it, after I have dinner, sometimes I sit in my easy chair and relax, and I think I fell asleep like 2 days and wake up at midnight to go to bed. And so I missed the news report. Excuse me, missed the news report. But I do know about a week ago I had to go into Chula Vista, and I took the back road, and boy, there was a lot of Border Patrol trucks patrolling and parked along the side there. So they're watching it, and now I see that the school district has said that from now on, if they approach a bus stop and there's any migrants around there, not to stop. They continue on to the next stop, and they're telling the parents of the children, if the bus doesn't stop to get your kids off, just follow the bus and it'll stop at the next stop. So they're taking some caution there. But that just goes to show you we've got to get the administration changed and fix this border. And I think Trump will do it for us. Back to you, Brian. WB5DRI, WA6LJS.
Okay, John, very good. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I see that you were looking for the answers there. They were bravo, bravo. I think Lee put that up on the net logger for you there also. It was bravo, bravo on the answers there. So very good, John. Good to hear you this morning. You have a great day out there in Hamul. Let's go ahead and move on for the 73 round here. Let's go back to Joe, W5ABI in Las Cruces. Joe, you're up for the 73 round, WB5DRI.
Yeah, WB5DRI, W5ABI. Boy, your signal's held up, Brian, the whole net. You're still pushing 15 to 20 over 9. So, good conditions today. Anyhow, good net, 73 to you and all the flyers, and have a good Labor Day weekend. WB5DRI, W5ABI.
Okay, Joe, you have a good weekend as well. And your signal is still great this morning, 5.9 plus. So it sure makes the net a lot of fun to have a lot of very strong stations in here this morning. So 73 is to you, Joe. Let's go back to Carl. KF7 GJO. You got the questions half right there, Carl. And very good on having you out there with us this morning. You're up, sir, for the 73 round, WB5DRI.
Means I got it half wrong. Hey, everybody have a fantastic day. This has been a great net, Brian. You did a good job. Yeah. And we'll give this a try tomorrow. WB5DRI, KF7, GJO.
Okay, Carl. Well, we'll look for you tomorrow. 73s. Have a great day. Stay on the cool side of the door if you can there. Break with KF7 GJO. Let's go back to my older brother Dale, the W5OG, and congratulations, Dale. You were the first one with both questions 100% correct there. I think you were pretty close to all this program, having been a helo pilot in Da Nang there. So back to you there, Dale. W5OG, WB5DRI.
Yeah, Brian, but I probably would not. I read the book actually 3 or 4 years ago when it first came around. It bubbled up, and I think you were the one that put me onto it. But anyway, it was an interesting review, and you're right. That would have been Rich would have enjoyed that question for sure. He had a lot to do with over in Laos early on as the air traffic controller, but he was busy with the equipment that they were using. Anyway, it was an interesting question. We sure do miss him. 7-3, everybody have a great day. We'll see you on Echolink perhaps for a few minutes or after the net, Brian. And everybody have a good weekend. W5OG back to net.
Okay, Dale, real fine. We'll talk to you some more on Echolink. Break with W5OG. Let's go to, I was going to call K2SJ, no, we got Jim out in Corona. W6WAY. Jim, you're up for the 73 round, WB5DRI. Okay, Jim. Well, good to have you with us this morning, Jim. And yeah, check out that book if you haven't read it. It's very good. It's an excellent read. Break with W6WAY. I think KM4CAX is checked out, so we'll give him a 73. And I think Bob K2SJP is also checked out, so we'll say 73s to him. Let's go to, we're down to K4YDB. Charlie, you're up for the 73 round, and you got half the questions correct there. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, K4YDB. Well, good net today, Brian. Your signal's held up quite nicely. There's been a lot of fading going on with other people. But anyway, interesting question. I did enjoy it. I had fun putting it up, too, by the way. So, wow, this is going to be interesting. Anyway, 73s, everybody. Everybody have a good day. We will try this again tomorrow. It's K4YDB. Back to net.
Okay, Charlie, and thanks again for all your help on the live stream with YouTube there. We sure appreciate your website. It's great. So 73s to you, and thanks for putting the questions up there for us too, so everybody can read them off of the live stream. Break with K4YDB. Let's see, we're down to Anthem again, and another station we got a bunch of stations coming up that all had the correct answers here. Mike, King Queen 6 Echo, you're up for the 73 round, Mike. WB5DRI. Okay, real fine. Mike, sure was fun having you out there with us this morning. So 73s, have a great day in Anthem there. Hope it doesn't get too hot for you there. Break with you. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to back to Chris up in Bowling Green, Kentucky. KS5KY. Chris, also with the correct answers. You're up for the 73 round. WB5DRI. Okay, Chris, 73 to you. Break with KS5KY. Let's try KF0OPE. Mike up in Nebraska, also with the correct answers. WB5DRI.
Thanks, Brian. Good net today. Great questions. Had a lot of fun. 7-3s, guys. Hopefully catch you tomorrow. KF0OPE back to WB5DRI.
Okay, Mike. Well, good to hear you this morning. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Break with you. Let's go to, let's see, who's still in there? W5PIX Mobile. We're down to you, Cliff. Where are you now? WB5DRI. Anybody hearing Cliff? I've lost him.
W5PIX, you're up, Cliff. WA6LJS relay. No, he's not coming in 2 SDRs or locally, Brian. I was hearing him pretty good first go around. WA6LJS.
Okay, John, thank you for that. Let's go ahead and move on here. Let's try KE9ACM. Ed up in Indiana. If you're still in there in Fort Wayne, you're up for the 73 round. WB5DRI.
He shows checked out, Brian.
Oh, okay, thank you, Lee. Well, let's go back to W4PUO, Lee in Melbourne, Belleville. Got the questions half right there. Very, very close on the answers there, Lee. You're up for the 73 round, WB5 DRI.
WB5 DRI, W4PUO. Oh, thank you, Brian. 73s, and I've enjoyed the net today. You all have a good weekend. W4PUO is off the air.
Okay, you too, Lee, 73s. Break with W4PUO. Let's go back to James, KG5PTE. James, you're up for the 73 round, WB5 DRI.
WB5 DRI, KG5PT. 73s, Brian. Thanks for running the net. Thank you for letting me jump in here at the last minute. I got back from a doctor's appointment, as you know, and I appreciate you letting me get in here for the count. And sorry I missed the question. I didn't really pay attention to it, but I would have got it wrong anyway. So what else? This is going to be a routine day. We're going to grill some steaks this weekend and have a good Labor Day and close out the summer of 2024. Everybody have a good one. And 7-3s. And I'll catch some of you on Echo Link. WB5 DRI in the group. Kilo Golf 5 Papa Tango Echo. Back to net.
Okay, KG5PTE, James. Well, 73 to you, James. I'm glad you were able to make it in here, and we'll talk to you some more on Echo Link. We do have an Echo Link node. It's A Alpha Foxtrot Charlie. It's a conference node on Echo Link for the Air Force's Flyers Club. So all stations are welcome to join us over there at the conclusion of this net here on 20. Break, that is the end of the list as I have it. The only other station I had in there that might still be with us, I think, is Bob up in Indiana, NG9Y. Bob, if you're still in there with us, you're up for the 73 round, WB5 DRI. Well, I think Bob is gone. I think I'll go ahead and wrap this thing up, and we'll switch over to Echo Link. It's been my great privilege this morning to have been net control. I really have enjoyed it, and I hope everybody had a good time. And I want to thank all the participants and all the relays and all the help with the live stream on YouTube and NetLogger and the relays from stations and everything else that went into making this net what it is. I'll just say 73s, God bless our troops, and God bless the USA. This is WB5 DRI, now closing the Air Force's Flyers Club net and returning the frequency to normal amateur use. Good day, everybody.
This is Kilo Golf 5 India Echo Foxtrot. Good morning. Quick radio check out of North Texas. I'll copy.